Nick, very good to see you. We have a great question today. Should couples retire together? Couples should carefully consider the financial and emotional consequences of retiring at the same time. You suggest they consider 4 questions. So let's walk through them. Number one, have you correctly calculated your cost of living in retirement? 46% of adults actually spend more money during their first few years of retirement than before retiring.
Right. So now all of a sudden, after you've retired, you've got all this time to fill.
Mhm.
8 hours a day. If you were working 40 hours a week or more, now all of a sudden these 8 hours a day, you've got to fill that time with something. Whether that's going out and golfing, going out and continuing to work part time, going out and doing whatever. Some of that stuff's going to cost money. And it's not necessarily bringing in an income anymore. And you multiply that times two with your spouse, now all of a sudden you've got double the expenses to be able to cover. So when we always talk to our clients about three different statements that they need: an income statement, an expense statement, and a balance sheet, that expense statement is very important to really understand how much you're spending in retirement. And the fact that it's probably going to go up a little bit there in those first couple of years as you get used to retirement.
Especially if you can go out to lunch together. I love that idea. All right,
Absolutely.
number two, when is the best time for each person to claim Social Security?
Right. So this is such a unique situation. I could sit here and say for this couple it's at age 62 and
Right.
64. For that couple it's at age 65 and 67. You have to look at it on your own individual stance. And the longer that you push it off, you do get a little bit of an increase in your Social Security benefits. At your full retirement age, for some people it's age 65, some people age 66, or age 67, or somewhere in between there, you're going to get the full amount for Social Security. But you can also wait after that. You get 8% simple interest each year all the way up until the age of 70. Does waiting until 70 make perfect sense for you? For most people, probably not. You
Mm,
also have to look at some life expectancy. Are you in good health at that point in time? Want to be able to retire and enjoy your retirement and do
mhm,
things. May
mhm,
need that income to help supplement as
mhm.
well. So.
Number three, do you feel ready to retire? The decision is not just a financial one because keep in mind, if you retire at the same time, you are suddenly going to be spending a lot more time together.
Right. So we always talk about, not what you're retiring to, or I'm sorry, not what you're retiring from, but what you're retiring to.
Right.
What are you going to be doing in retirement? Is it something that you're following your spouse around the house all day? You might annoy each other pretty quickly, on something like that. But having different activities to do in retirement is vitally important. I talked about it a little bit ago. Whether you want to go out and golf, walk, go on vacations, travel, remodel, have some sort of part-time, job, volunteering, having something that you're retiring to is just as important. Is it taking care of grandkids, annoying kids and spoiling all those grandkids? That likes to happen too. So
Mhm.
definitely understanding the financial side of it, but also the emotional side of it, what
Right.
you're going to be doing in retirement.
Such a big transition. You're right. And number four, perhaps most importantly, do you have a good retirement plan?
Correct. So this goes back to those three statements, that we always talk about: the income statement, the balance sheets, and the expense statement. Once you know each one of those three, inside and out, it makes your retirement plan, it makes the foundation of your retirement plan a lot more sturdy at that point. So, that hey, I've got this expense coming up. Where am I going to be pulling that asset from? Looking down the balance sheet to look at cash assets, investment assets, being able to plan out a little bit better. If
Mhm.
you go about it willy-nilly, not really knowing what those numbers are, now all of a sudden a big expense pops up, and you don't have a good foundation to know, hey, how am I going to be able to cover this and make a good decision in retirement.
Mhm. Mhm. Clearly, walking through these questions, some of them warrant a conversation. So, Nick, if somebody would like to have that conversation with you sooner rather than later, is probably a good idea. How can they reach you?
Right. Yeah, it's always good to reach out prior to retirement.
Absolutely.
If you can plan for this stuff ahead of time, it's a lot better for you overall. So you can reach out to us online, iconberryretirement.com. You can schedule an appointment right there online with either Luke or myself. or you can give us a call on 937-498-1128, and we can sit down and chat about this as well.
All right, Nick, thank you.
Thanks, Erin.